Hello everyone, my name's Ian the Part-Time Dungeon Master, welcome back. And D20 Sundays, it's been a while, and I apologize for that. You noticed the reason why if you watched my last video. It's still up if you want to go give it a click. Don't worry, I'll give you time. Caught up? Great. So today is on CR0, what I feel like is one of the most underused challenge ratings in all of Dungeons & Dragons. And understandably so. I mean, creatures in CR0 include stuff like badgers, baboons, I think bats as well. Bats, CR0, page 318. But there's a number of different ways that you can use the creatures in CR0 to make them legitimate threats against the players. And no one really uses them because, well, they're like, player hits it once, it dies, that's it. It's dead. Great. Move on to the next thing. But I think the way it is that, you are underestimating the value of a CR0 creature while at the same time not giving them enough credit in the sense of there's not supposed to be just one of them. You see, on a straight on, CR0 versus a level 1 player, the level 1 player is most likely going to win. Especially in the case of the Scorpion, page 337 of your monster manual. It does a sting attack, which +2 to hit, and does 1 piercing damage. Okay, not bad. But then it's followed by a DC 9 saving throw versus poison, where they take 1d8 on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. So, right there, that can severely screw over a level 1 player to where it's like, well, you're unconscious, you got stung by a scorpion. Even if you made your save, because you just did not have enough health points. Of course, that's like if you're rolling really good on the damage and they failed their save, But at the same time, it's got an armor class 11, hit points, 1d4 minus 1, or just 1, which is the suggested. Moves at 10 feet per round, and it's tiny. It's tiny. CR0. So what do? How can you make scorpions a threat to players? Well, make a lot of them. Imagine it as a trap, bottom of the pit trap. The players fall in, and all of a sudden they are surrounded by a bunch of scorpions that were down in the pit with them. They all make attack rolls against the player, and even if only a few of them hit, that's still 1 point of damage plus 1d8 of poison damage that they have to make a DC 9 saving throw. Which, of course, they're most likely going to make the save, but still, even then, that's damage that they are going to take if it hits them. So, I feel like it's an underused CR creature in the sense that, if used correctly, it could be quite terrifying to the players, because it's like, okay, that hurt, for one, and two, holy crap, I didn't think a whole bunch of scorpions would be a problem to my big old beefy fighter at level 3. Well, guess again, bucko. You're getting stabbed a lot of times by a lot of little scorpions, and they are very angry at you. Why? Because they are. But even then, commoners, CR0, I think it's AC 10. Un momento, por favor. Here we go. Yeah, AC 10, 4 hit points. I mean, come on. If you throw enough of them against the players, yeah, they'll be cutting through them like butter, but at the same time, they have that quandary of, are we really going to kill everybody? And, even then, if you've got enough commoners, say, 20 of them against 3 people, the 20 are probably going to win from the sheer number of them, all trying to attack the players, and, all of them doing 1d4 bludgeoning damage per hit. So, I think that CR0 is a very underused in the sense that it's not supposed to be a one-on-one fight. It's supposed to be a massive fight. You are not just one player against one of these creatures. You're one player versus 10 of these things. Well, 10 might be too much. Maybe 5. Sure, you can, beat them, but at the same time, it's probably going to hurt you in the process. And speaking of just like CR0, there's a few others that I wanted to talk about as well. The CR.125, or I think it's like .18, or it's like CR1/8. The CR.25, which is the 1/4, and the CR.5, which is, the CR half. But, you got things like Bloodhawks, Merfolks, Bandits, Dretches, Flying Swords, Violet Fungus, Grimlocks, Steam Mephits, Magmen, Rust Monster, which I feel like is greatly underpowered compared to its previous iterations when it comes to 5e. I remember parties that feared the idea of fighting a Rust Monster because your equipment can just suddenly just stop being good because now it's all rusted and falling apart because you struck a Rust Monster or it struck it, or the weapon. Cockatrices, Cockatrice, CR5 with the chance of hurting you, not only just, a little bit damage, but the fact of magical petrification. Hold on, I can look up the stats for it real quick. Cockatrice. Page 42. If you turn to page 42 of your monster manual, you will find the cockatrice. It is a big, ugly bird chicken thing. Actually, I remember the old versions kind of looked more like chickens. But the cockatrice, look at it. It does 1d4 plus 1 piercing damage, but then you have to do a DC 11 Constitution save versus being petrified. The creature begins to turn to stone and is restrained. It must repeat the saving throw at the end of its next turn. On a success, the effect ends. On a failure, the creature is petrified for 24 hours. That is terrifying. Your character, unless anyone knows about how long it lasts, it's considered dead to the rest of the party because you got turned to stone. What are we going to do, But that's the thing. It's a CR 1/2. And sure, it's got AC 11, 27 hit points. It'll be, one of those would be kind of a challenge to a party if they're not careful. But a couple of those, oh boy, you are going to ruin that party's time. Oh, using a card to mark a certain section. Certain creature. Don't worry about it. But that's the thing, is the idea of these lower CR creatures that you very rarely see because no one thinks about creatures of that low of a caliber. That's oh, it's just crabs. Oh, it's just baboons. Oh, it's just merfolk that, have no real specialty about them. Think again, buddy. These things are going to wreck your day because they outnumber you. And I feel like that's how they should ever be used. Even the flying sword, I marked them down. It's just I didn't mark down the page numbers. Flying sword. Page 20. You'll turn to page 20 of your... There we go. Page 20. Armor class, 17. Hit points, 17. That's pretty good for a CR 1/4. Anti-magic susceptibility. If you throw it into an anti-magic field or use Dispel Magic, it stops working. But it has false appearance while it remains motionless and isn't flying. It's indistinguishable from a normal sword. But it has a +3 to hit and does 1d8 plus 1 damage. And because it's a flying sword, you can sneak up on your party with those without them actually noticing them. Or maybe the party member tries to pick it up. It's cool, got a free sword, and all of a sudden, bam! They get whacked. But yeah, I felt like that, these CR zeros to CR a half are way underused. And especially when they have so many, unique abilities, the possibilities for having massive numbers to make it, them more challenging, and the fact that you're not dealing with just one of these things, you're dealing with a number of them. I feel like the idea of them should be for lower levels, definitely, but they can still be terrifying because we're dealing with one of them, we're dealing with 10 of them. I'm sorry, 10 scorpions doing 1d8 poison damage every time they hit, that's terrifying at a low level. I would say probably even up to level 5, because let's face it, we don't have a lot of hit points at those levels. Sure, we can like stomp our boots and kill them, but the fact is, we get only a certain amount of initiative versus them. And normally, in combat, the side with the most initiative wins. That's what I wanted to share with you, is the idea that, maybe you should go through your monster manual, look at the CR zeros, look at each and single one of them, because I only named off a few of them. But look at it from CR 0 to CR half, or 0.5, however you want to look at it, and truly think about each one of them and say, how can I use this creature to its fullest potential? And then try and use it against your party. No matter their level, sometimes just having a unique moment like that is good enough to make it memorable to your party. Sure, they might be so high-leveled and so geared out that it's not like too much of a problem, but the idea of it is like, my level 12 warrior fell into a pit of scorpions, but, there was no match for him. He was able to just crush them and get out. He just had a little bit of trouble getting out, but, Anyways, I wanted to share that with you guys, and tell me what you think. The idea of using lower CR that are most of the time forgotten about as unique encounters for your players. Anyways, I'll catch you guys next time. Laters.